Coming up on this special election edition of the Bluffton News, we'll meet three of the candidates vying for the South Carolina House of Representatives seat in the new District 120. All that and, of course, the latest headlines, business and entertainment news right now on the Bluffton News. Welcome to the Bluffton News. I'm Anneliza Itkor, and these are Bluffton's current headlines. South Carolina lawmakers have attached protections to a bill in order to preserve a lawsuit against the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Savannah Harbor deepening. The project is intended to deepen about 38 miles of the Savannah River from 42 feet to 47 feet in order to accommodate larger vessels after the Panama Canal is expanded in 2014. South Carolina lawmakers and environmental groups argue the dredging will bring environmental degradation to the estuary as well as expose the area to cadmium-laced dredge spoil material. Under the current law, as detailed by a state Supreme Court ruling in July, allowing private citizens to file suit to halt pollution is opening the door for a tidal wave of lawsuits. Frank Holloman, senior attorney for the Southern Environmental Law Center, said that's not the case. According to Holloman, frivolous lawsuits get thrown out, and it's the meritorious lawsuits that business groups actually fear. And the town of Bluffton is posting job listings seeking a new police chief and settling details of the candidate search. Current Bluffton Chief of Police David McAllister told the town last week he'll resign effective August 1st to take a private sector job in Atlanta after more than 6 years with the department. Town manager Anthony Barrett is charged with hiring staff, but town council members say they will be involved in interviews after he narrows the field of candidates. Barrett wrote in an email that the community also will get the chance to meet finalists. If the process extends beyond August 1st, Barrett will appoint an acting chief until a permanent replacement is selected. A 37-year-old Bluffton woman was arrested Tuesday on warrants charging her with writing more than $4,000 in fraudulent checks. The woman was held at the Beaufort County Detention Center on 5 counts of misdemeanor check fraud until this past Wednesday when she was released on her own recognizance. According to Detention Center Director Phil Foote, she is also wanted in Jasper County. A controversial decision by local commanders to again refer to a Beaufort F-18 squadron as the Crusaders has been reversed by a 3-star general. The Crusaders nickname was used by the unit from 1959 to January 2008. In 2008, it was changed back to its World War II-era nickname, the Werewolves, before a combat deployment to Iraq took place later that year. The name change was partly because unit commanders thought the Crusaders nickname would not be well received by Iraqis and others in the region. Lieutenant General Terry Roebling, Deputy Commander for Aviation, issued an order April 30th that Marine Fighter Attack Squadron 122 discontinue use of the Crusaders moniker and logo that featured a red cross on a white shield. The squadron will retain its identity as the Werewolves. After Executive Director Renee Pendergrass resigned from the Greater HARDEEVILLE Chamber of Commerce, the chamber was ready for some good news, and they finally got it. After losing their nonprofit status almost a year ago, the IRS gave them a clean bill of health and reinstated their position as a nonprofit. According to Chamber President Matthew Clark, the chamber lost that status mainly from not filling out the proper tax-exempt forms. As for why Pendergrass left, apparently she had not been paid for more than 6 weeks, but she has since been reimbursed. Pendergrass initially worked as secretary and did much of the legwork for the chamber and was named executive director last April. The chamber has since hired someone part-time to answer the phones and do other work while learning the chamber ropes. For more information on these headlines and more, please check out the media sources you see listed on your screen. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And coming up, BJ Frazier of the Bluffton Sun has an insider's view of what's making news as the Bluffton Sun brings you hot off the presses, and Shellie Hodges has her eye on a couple businesses that are all about giving back to the Bluffton community when we return with more Bluffton news. Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Joining me now is BJ Frazier of the Bluffton Sun. So BJ, I hear there's a significant event happening in Bluffton this weekend.
There certainly is, and I don't think many people know this, but 149 years ago on June 4th, 1863, Union forces came through and torched the town of Bluffton. Many structures were destroyed, and what was left of course, is what remains of Old Town today. And there's going to be a celebration this weekend at the Bluffton Historical Society building on Boundary Street from 6 to 9 p.m. That's Saturday, June 9th. And there's going to be a commemoration of the very important event. And there'll be Bluffton barbecue and beverages available, and Low Country Boil will be performing from 6 to 9 p.m. So come on down, enjoy. It's a free event to the community, and it's a wonderful way to celebrate the history and heritage.
Well, you know, here we are talking about a celebration of the development of Bluffton, and yet at this very moment there's a huge debate over historic district demolition underway. What's going on with that?
Well, last month, as we know, the Bluffton Historical Society voted to commission devoted to allow the Graves House, a 100-year-old structure on Boundary Street, or excuse me, on Calhoun Street, to be demolished. And that had a lot of people, preservationists and people that are aware of the history of town, really kind of upset. And so what they want to do is say, wait a minute, before we do anything else, let's review the guidelines about demolition. Because once you take down a house, a historical structure, it's gone forever. So the debate is whether the cost can be justified to actually restore a house, or whether it can be taken down. So stay tuned. They meet later on this week to discuss the topic.
Well, I'm sure you'll keep us in the loop.
Absolutely.
Now, you know, last week we learned a little bit about the mounting tension between future homeowners and firefighters over this whole mandatory sprinkler issue. What is the latest on that?
Well, again, as we said, 80% of fires, deaths in fires are decreased by sprinklers being installed, but the problem comes the cost. The Home Builders Association says that it will cost between $2 and $4 a square foot to do it, so therefore it could cost several $1,000s to install sprinklers, and of course that makes a house even more expensive. They say they agree it will prevent fires from killing people, but at the same time they just do not want it to make it mandatory.
Yeah, it's a tough issue. It really is. There's definitely an argument for both sides.
Right.
Now, finally, not that this is shameless self-promotion, but I understand the Bluffton Sun actually has big news.
Yes, this week we are launching our premiere edition of the Hilton Head Sun. It will go to all 22,000 households on Hilton Head Island in the mail, safe and dry in the mailbox. And Lynn Hummel, our editor, has put together a wonderful package of news, features, and special columns just for the people of Hilton Head. Very proud of what we've been able to do, and I hope all of Hilton Head will enjoy it. And of course, keep reading your Bluffton Sun twice a month.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody in Bluffton so appreciates your publication, and I know Hilton Head's going to feel the same way. Congratulations, and thank you, BJ.
Thank you, Anneliza.
On today's Bluffton Business Report, Shellie Hodges joins us with a focus on two, shall we say, philanthropic businesses. Shellie, let's take a quick look at the Blood Alliance first. What exactly do they do?
The Blood Alliance is a group based out of Beaufort, and they actually go around and collect blood for all the area hospitals here in Beaufort County to make sure that they have plenty of supplies. They have mobile units that go around different parts of Beaufort County for people to donate here locally in Bluffton and in Beaufort.
All right. Now, do they have any opportunities coming up for involvement in the future?
Yes, they do. They have a great event that is scheduled for June 25th, and it's from 1 to 6 out at Station 300 in Buckwalter Place. And they are having a competition with boots and badges, which is for the local Bluffton Fire Departments and the local Bluffton Police Department, for people to come in and donate blood, and then you can take a vote on who your favorite department is, and at the end of the day they'll take the most votes, and whichever department wins will get a pizza party from the Blood Alliance. They're going to host that for them.
Ooh,
so it's kind of fun to get people to come out. Yes.
Now, I understand that there's also a relatively new nonprofit in the area.
Yes, we've got a new group called the Osprey Village, and their main goal is to build a facility for intellectually challenged adults in the area and have a place that's intergenerational for them to live and function normal lives and have a place where they can prosper and work and do some vocational training. They also have a thrift store here in Okatee that is there for fundraising as well as for on-the-job training for these folks, and it's a great organization.
How can we help?
Well, they do take donations. They also would like people to come by the thrift store, and they have a website, and it's ospreywillage.org, and the main contact is David Green.
Okay, now real quick, there's an inordinate amount of nonprofits in the area, and I know that they're all looking for support from the local community, and I understand there's something coming up that's going to help give them some guidance on how to work with the community. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have over 150 nonprofits here in the greater Bluffton area, and in order to facilitate and help their needs, you know, our economy has changed, but the needs of the nonprofits have not. And there's going to be a forum that's going to be headed up by the Greater Bluffton Chamber. It will be at the Bluffton Business Club on June 20th at 5 o'clock, and they are asking any area nonprofits to come in and participate in a focus group to find out what their needs are and how we as business owners can help them. So we're really looking forward to that. It's a great effort.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Shellie.
Thank you, Anneliza.
When we return, 3 candidates bidding for the South Carolina House of Representatives seat District 120 will join us with some insight into their respective platforms in this special election edition of the Bluffton News.